Hello and welcome to the second lesson in the Ask a PA series. In this second lesson, we'll be talking about what do business analysts do. In our last lesson, we talked about introduction to business analysis and how to become a business analyst. Now, what do business analysts do? The business analyst is that intermediary between the business and the technical team. They act as a bridge between the IT team and the business and to make sure that the requirements of the business is clearly understood by the IT team. Generally, the business is referred to as speaking Spanish, while the IT team or development team are often referred to as speaking French. The business analyst is that individual who is multilingual and understands both Spanish and French and is able to interpret and make sure that both teams understand one another. The business analyst defines what the organization needs, and sometimes this may not actually be what the organization wants. So the business analyst is able to investigate, understand that organization, and know exactly what they need, which, like I said, can be quite different from what they want. Now, why do we use a business analyst rather than someone from within the business? The important reason for doing this is that the business analyst is that important third eye that can come from outside the organization and look ahead of the complexities and that surrounds the problem and is able to identify what the actual problem is. In other words, the business analyst is objective and impartial because they are not tied to the problem. And what I mean by that is, for example, the problem may be coming from the customer service team. If you use someone from the customer service team will probably look at this business from a customer service perspective and would not have an understanding of how that impacts the other parts of the business. However, the business analyst is able to stand impartially and look at the entire scope of the business and understand exactly what the business needs. So the business analyst is void of the emotions that you would normally find from those that are directly affected by that problem. The business analyst can also challenge the ways of working and the normal processes that exist within that organization. For example, people are so used to working in the same way that they may not realize or see the faults in those processes. However, the business analyst, because he's coming in as a third eye, is able to spot those differences and challenge established patterns of working. The business analyst also is somebody who has a wide breadth of knowledge, both in business and technical knowledge. So they have understanding across the entire project cycle, from requirement gathering right through to testing and to delivery. The business analyst also understands what developers and testers need to be able to deliver a solution. The next diagram that you see shows you in more detail what happens when you don't use a business analyst. In the first diagram, it shows you how the customer explained the requirement. The second diagram shows you how the development team designed it. And the third diagram shows you what the customer really required. Now, this picture looks funny, but in truth, this is what happens in quite a number of organizations. The customer needs something and they explain it. The IT or development team builds something else. And at the end of the day, what is built is not actually what the customer needs. And this is why you need a business analyst. The business analyst is able to interrogate the customers properly, understand exactly what the business needs, explain that clearly to the IT team, and ensure that the end result is in line with what the customer has asked for. Now, what are three critical success factors for business analysts? Now, three critical success factors are attitude, approach, and knowledge acquisition. Now, attitude is the way you think and respond to everything in life. It's the mood, it's the feeling, it's an opinion, and it greatly affects the impact and the outcome of any business venture. Approach, which is the business analyst approach, is the way the business analyst looks at the problem and solves the problem. Further down in this series, we'll go into bigger, deeper details of what the business analyst approach is. And then knowledge acquisition. For a business analyst to be effective, they must continuously acquire knowledge. You must continue to learn to increase your knowledge. Again, as we go down in this series, we'll explain more ways of acquiring knowledge. Now, having seen all of the different things that the business analyst is involved in, you have to ask yourself, what then are the competencies of a business analyst? In this diagram, we've grouped the competencies into several groups, and then what each group contains is shown in the diagram. One of the first competency of a business analyst is they must have analytical thinking and problem solving. Now, what that means is they must be creative in their thinking, they must be good decision makers, they must learn, they must know how to solve problems, they must have system thinking, they must have conceptual thinking. That means that they can see the big picture, not just the small part. They can separate the trees from the forest. Also, you've got behavioral characteristics and personal qualities. Now, this is about ethics. These are your soft skills. The business analyst must be accountable, they must be trustworthy, they must be good organizers of time. They must also be adaptable. They must have emotional intelligence. And then there is business knowledge. Now, by business knowledge, whatever area the business analyst is working, they must have a good knowledge of that industry. So for business knowledge, we're talking about business acumen, industry knowledge, organizational knowledge, solution knowledge, and then communication skills. A business analyst must be able to communicate very well. Now, communication includes verbal communication, non-verbal communication, written communication, and listening. The business analyst, because he will be having interviews and workshops, must know how to communicate effectively with the team, and also to be able to understand non-spoken communication, so that he can get exactly what the requirements of the business is. And then there's interaction skills. A business analyst must be good in facilitation. They must also have leadership and influencing skills. They must be good negotiators and be able to resolve conflicts. And then we've got tools and technology. The business analyst needs to have a broad range of knowledge when it comes to tools. Now, this could be business analysis tools, this could be communication tools, and loads of technology related tools, office related tools as well. And then you've got your professional techniques. Now, your professional techniques is like a combination of all of the competencies and putting them into action. And this involves stakeholder analysis, strategic analysis, business process modeling, gap analysis, benefit management, project and portfolio management. The business analyst must be able to use all of these skills holistically to be able to provide solutions. In our next lesson, we'll go deeper into what these competencies are, and also what are the deliverables that is required of the business analyst, and what the different techniques that is available to the business analyst for delivering these deliverables, as we call them, business deliverables. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Drop your comments, put your questions, subscribe. Let me know what thoughts you have, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.